Charlestown, Prison, Jefferson Company, Virginia. 30th of November 1859. My dearly beloved wife, sons, and daughters, everyone. As I now begin what is probably the last letter I shall ever write to any of you, I conclude to write you all at the same time. I am waiting the hour of my public murder with great composure of mind, and cheerfulness, feeling the strongest assurance that in no other possible way could I be used to so much advance the cause of God, and of humanity, and that nothing that either I or all my family have sacrificed or suffered, will be lost. The reflection that a wise and merciful, as well as just and holy God, rules not only the affairs of this world, but of all worlds, is a rock to set our feet upon, under all circumstances, even those more severely trying ones, into which our own follies and wrongs have placed us. I have now no doubt but that our seeming disaster will ultimately result in the most glorious success. So my dear shattered and broken family, be of good cheer, and believe and trust in God, with all your heart and with all your soul, for he doth all things well. Do not feel ashamed on my account, nor for one moment despair of the cause, or grow weary of well-doing. I bless God, I never felt stronger confidence in the certain and near approach of a bright morning, and a glorious day, than I have felt, and do now feel, since my confinement here. I am endeavoring to return like a poor prodigal as I am, to my Father, against whom I have always sinned, in the hope that he may kindly and forgivingly meet me, though a very great way off. O my dear wife and children, would to God you could know how I have been traveling in birth for you all, that no one of you may fail of the grace of God, through Jesus Christ, that no one of you may be blind to the truth, and glorious light of his word, in which life and immortality are brought to light. I beseech you every one to make the Bible your daily and nightly study, with a childlike, honest, candid, teachable spirit, out of love and respect for your husband and father, and I beseech the God of my fathers, to open all your eyes to a discovery of the truth. You cannot imagine how much you may soon need the consolations of the Christian religion. Circumstances like my own, for more than a month past, convince me beyond all doubt of our great need of something more to rest our hopes on, than merely our own vague theories framed up, while our prejudices are excited, or our vanity worked up to its highest pitch. Oh, do not trust your eternal all upon the boisterous ocean, without even a helm, or compass to aid you in steering. I do not ask any of you to throw away your reason, I only ask you to make a candid and sober use of your reason. My dear younger children, will you listen to the last poor admonition of one who can only love you? Oh, be determined at once to give your whole hearts to God, and let nothing shake or alter that resolution. You need have no fear of regretting it. Do not be vain and thoughtless, but sober-minded. And let me entreat you all to love the whole remnant of our once great family, with a pure heart fervently. Try to build again your broken walls, and to make the utmost of every stone that is left. Nothing can so tend to make life a blessing as the consciousness that you love, and are beloved, and love ye the stranger still. It is ground of the utmost comfort to my mind, to know that so many of you as have had the opportunity, have given full proof of your fidelity to the great family of man. Be faithful until death. From the exercise of habitual love to man, it cannot be very hard to learn to love his Maker. I must yet insert a reason for my firm belief in the divine inspiration of the Bible. Notwithstanding I am, perhaps naturally, skeptical, certainly not credulous, I wish you all to consider it most thoroughly. When you read the blessed book, and see whether you cannot discover such evidence yourselves. It is the purity of heart, feeling, or motive, as well as word and action which is everywhere insisted on, that distinguish it from all other teachings, that commends it to my conscience, whether my heart be willing and obedient or not. The inducements that it holds out are another reason of my conviction of its truth and genuineness, that I cannot here omit, in this my last argument for the Bible. Eternal life is that my soul is panting after this moment. I mention this as reason for endeavoring to leave a valuable copy of the Bible to be carefully preserved in remembrance of me, to so many of my posterity, instead of some other things of equal cost. I beseech you all to live in habitual contentment with very moderate circumstances, and gains of worldly store, and most earnestly to teach this to your children, and children's children, after you, by example, as well as precept. Be determined to know by experience as soon as may be, whether Bible instruction is of divine origin or not, which says, "Owe no man anything but to love one another." John Rogers wrote to his children, "Abhor the arrant whore of Rome." John Brown writes to his children to abhor with undying hatred, also, that sum of all villainies, slavery. Remember that he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit, than he that taketh a city. Remember also, that they that be wise shall shine, and they that turn many to righteousness, as the stars forever and ever. And now, dearly beloved, farewell. To God and the word of His grace, I commend you all. Your affectionate husband and father, John Brown. John Brown bids farewell to his family the night before he is executed. To the bitter end, John Brown fought the good fight. He was faithful unto death. Within a year and a half after his execution, civil war began, and a nation was torn asunder before the abolitionist cause was finally vindicated. John Brown's fanatical devotion to the abolitionist cause below the Civil War is an epic chapter in American history. Ever since he had gone to Kansas in 1855 to live with 5 of his 20 sons, he had led a series of raids on the pro-slavery forces, had clashed with state officials and soldiers in a series of bloody massacres, and had become the object of a relentless manhunt. Finally, the Virginia authorities captured him at Harpers Ferry and in the year 1859 sentenced him to death. "I submit to arrest," he said, "knowing full well that I shall be hanged for this attempt to end the evils of slavery. But after I am dead, the evil will remain, and you and all other patriots will come to learn that it can be purged from this guilty world only with blood." Brown asked the commanding general for permission to spend his last night on earth with his wife. The request was not granted. According to Brown's biographer, Oswald Garrison Villard, it was the only time in all his imprisonment that he gave way to anger or passion. But when the parting came, both husband and wife exhibited a composure, either feigned or real, that was truly surprising. With his wife gone, John Brown devoted himself to his last letter and to a brief but calm sleep. Here is the farewell letter to his family, read aloud by the School of Ages.